What is up, you guys? It is LBM back with another video, and today I'm going to be doing a spoiler review of The Flash. So, spoilers like I just said, so if you haven't seen it and you don't want to be spoiled, then don't watch. Or if you have seen it and you want to watch, then go ahead. Or if you just don't care, it's whatever, you get the point. So this was technically, like in a way, the swan song, you could say, for the DCEU because it's getting rebooted into the DCU. But as far as we know, what's going to happen, most stuff's going to get rebooted, but, some stuff's going to, carry over. Blue Beetle, James Gunn recently said, Blue Beetle is going to be the first, hero in the DCU, so it seems like Blue Beetle's going to carry over to there. Aquaman might, too, either him or Lobo. Just Jason Momoa himself is going to also head over there. But I said this is really kind of a swan song to the DCEU still, specifically with Zack Snyder's stuff. And I gotta say, this movie definitely wasn't bad, but it also wasn't great. Okay, I'll start off with some of the characters and just the people playing them. So I'll start with Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller, yes, we know they've been doing. They did do a bunch of stuff last year, a lot of messed up stuff. But just going off their performance, they did really good, I think. Ezra did a really good job as both Barrys, so yeah, ignoring all the stuff that's happened with Ezra and all that, he did a really good job, I think, as both Barrys. So good job, Ezra Miller. He did a good job as both Barrys. Grant Gustin's still the best Flash, but he did good, Ezra. Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck, so both Batman. Michael Keaton was actually really good. He was a lot of fun. His action scenes were great. It was cool seeing him back on the big screen. And same with Ben Affleck, of course. We haven't seen him since we also haven't seen him since 2017. Obviously, same with Flash, but so it was cool seeing Ben Affleck's Batman one last time too, at the beginning. Even though I'm not gonna say there's something regarding the Batman scenes with him, that's kind of sad to know about. So I'm not even gonna say it to those who don't know about it, but I don't know. But still, it was really cool seeing him, and he was really good. So yeah, and then okay, I'm gonna get to I'm trying to think. Is there really anyone else? I forgot the actor's name, but who plays Zod, he did very good again. He was pretty solid. The actress who played Iris West was fine. She just didn't do a lot. And then, who else? There's some Barry's parents, the people who played them, also did pretty solid. Who I loved the most, though? Sasha Calle as Supergirl. She was great. I'm saying it right now. She was the best character of the movie. I freaking loved her. And again, Sasha Calle did a great job playing Supergirl. She did great. Alright. Now, there is something, I'm going to get to that later, but let's quickly go over some of the stuff in the actual movie itself. So, the opening scene, it was fun. It was a fun opening scene. Now, I feel like it kind of lasted a little too long, specifically with Flash, trying to save the babies, And my God, that scene looked awful. I was trying not to laugh. Just so you guys know, I was holding in my laughter because the babies looked awful. They looked so bad. I was trying not to laugh at just how awful they looked. But then the Batman stuff and the opening scene was pretty fun. Wonder Woman showing up was cool. Also, the truth scene wasn't that funny, but it was a fine gag. If you find that funny, then it's fine. But yeah, so the opening scene. So basically, the whole opening action sequence, it was solid. Could have been shorter, but whatever. And then after that, what's really the next big part to talk about? I already talked about the other Ben Affleck's scene. Barry going back in time. Okay, we can talk about that. I was also very confused. I was very confused on what was happening when he was in the Speed Force. Just because I've never seen Flash go back in time that way, or at least look back in time that way, because that's what everybody was doing, was looking back in time. So yeah, but that's kind of a cool way to see it. That's how he travels through time in this movie or in this universe is like that. But of course, he goes back in time, sees his parents, and then we get the younger Barry. And younger Barry was pretty fun, I'll say. He was like he was kind of annoying at first, but he grew on me as the movie went on, definitely. And like I said, Ezra did a really good job at playing both of them. So yeah, I liked him, and their dynamic with each other was cool to watch. It was fun to watch. Just older Barry to younger Barry, who's especially like older Barry who's lost people, and younger Barry who like hasn't lost anyone is like just who has these powers, and because there's a big difference, I think, between having powers or whatever and losing people, and having powers and not losing anyone. So yeah. And we get to what else was later? Let's see. They meet not Ben Affleck. Imagine. They meet Michael Keaton's Batman, of course. That was kind of funny. Did he teabag Barry? That's what I'm like. It seemed like he teabagged him while they were like when they first met. They were fighting. He like I don't know. I don't know if that was intentional or not. It seemed like it. I don't know. That's kind of weird. But yeah, that happened. And then let's see. They go to the base. Let's say military base. I don't even know if that was what it was, but they go there. That whole sequence was pretty fun. Definitely. Of course, that's where we see the best character of the movie, Supergirl. She first appears. She's awesome. Although she already has her suit, I'm curious about that. Like, that's something I'm curious about. Like, was she already Supergirl, or did like where did the suit come from? That's something I'm curious to know about. Is where that came from. But you know what? Who cares? It's awesome. And the whole and then Barry gets his powers back. So yeah, he lost his powers, of course, because Flash Media loves doing that, making Barry lose his powers. But he got his powers back, of course. And I will say that was one of the better looking scenes of the movie, when Supergirl flew him up to get struck by lightning. And then obviously we get to the final battle of Zod, which was kind of pissing me off with certain things. And then, of course, let's say right now, of course, Batman and Supergirl died. They kept dying, and there was no way they could go back, because they tried going back in time multiple times to stop it, but they couldn't. No matter what, they die. It was, yeah, and that wasn't even the original ending. Of course, this movie has 3 different endings, if I'm correct, 2 or 3. The only one I can remember is, because there were set photos of it too. There was Michael Keaton's Batman and Supergirl at the court at the end of the movie, where Barry, proves his dad's innocent. There were set photos of them there, so it's like, I mean, look, I can live with Keaton's Batman not, being carried over. I mean, I was pretty sad when he died too, specifically his second death. Obviously, the second death he had. That was a pretty sad death. But all of Supergirl's deaths. Come on, man. Like, bro, I don't know. I really was not a fan of that. Which is why I was super happy to see, right before recording this, the news right here that Sasha Calle might come back for the DCEU's Supergirl. Which, you know what? It doesn't have to be the same character from The Flash. Just bring her back as Supergirl, and you've won me over. Because again, she did a great job. She was underused. That's the problem. She was underused in the movie. I really wanted to see more of her. So James Gunn, Peter Safran, please bring her back in the DCU. It could be a completely different version, fine, but just bring her back because she did great. And then we get to the very ending, which was really weird. Of course, we get black, or not. Let's say black. I mean, he was black. We get Dark Flash, who was younger Barry but older, and he was not a good villain, honestly. He was in the movie for 2 or 3 minutes, hell, even and then we got the whole multiverse breaking scene, and that looked bad. All we my bad. I just ate before this. We got Christopher Reeve Superman and the Supergirl in that universe too. We got Nicolas Cage's Superman, which is kind of cool to see because, he was supposed to play him at one point, but it never happened. We saw Adam West as Batman. Who who else did we saw? We saw like a Flash that was supposedly Jay Garrick, the fake Jay Garrick from the Flash show, but apparently that wasn't him. It was just someone that looked like him, which is that's also such a weird thing. Why not just get either Grant Gustin or at least John Wesley Snipes in there to cameo at least? Like that, I still don't understand that, how you do a Flash movie and you have multiverse elements to it and you don't include a Flash that people know. All you include is other Batman and Supermans and girls. Like, I still don't understand that. Because, yeah, that's another problem with this movie. This is barely even the Flash's movie. Like, you got all that Flash elements in there still, but you also got these other elements, which granted, like Supergirl, for example, I thought she was great also, but also she was underused, I still think, so, yeah. But still, it's like, it does not feel all that much like a Flash movie. It's just like, I don't know what you'd call it, but I definitely want to call it, okay, at best, I'd call it Flashpoint, at best. Not The Flash, though, because that implies that it's about The Flash mainly. So I would have called this Flashpoint, then it would have made more sense, because Flashpoint is a crossover story, of course, because, yeah, you know how it goes. It goes back in time. Obviously, a lot more happens in, like, say, the animated movie than in this movie. Like, Aquaman and Wonder Woman are at war. Obviously, that didn't happen in this movie. And, obviously, like, Superman is the one that was, kidnapped by the government. And obviously Batman's dad was Batman. But still, so that's what I would have done. It's called this Flashpoint, then it would have made more sense, but oh well. And like I said already, the CGI and special effects did not look that good. They really did not. I was really expecting better, but I guess they took some notes from the CW show, the CG, the CG, and Barry was in his powers. Yeah, that's something. And again, I'm still so pissed the fact Grant Gustin didn't even just pop up. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to make that a direct negative towards the movie itself, but that's still something like, I feel like that should have really been the very top of their list. Like, because I will argue, Grant Gustin was arguably the most requested character to be in the movie, I think, by the audience, or just by everyone online. I don't know, that's what I think, though. I'd argue that. I'd argue he was the most requested to pop up, but they couldn't even get a Flash in there that people knew. At best, they got whoever that version was in the treadmill scene for like 2 seconds. I don't know, man. I mean, and it's like, look, this movie has a lot of fun moments. Like, again, the action can be really good. It really can. Like, specifically, like, with Batman stuff. And that's probably also because it's not really CGI heavy. And hell, even the final battle, too. There were some good-looking scenes in there, I think, that were cool to watch. But, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm, like, so mixed on this movie. Like this, the closer we were getting to it, the less excited I was getting, honestly. Despite the fact that so many people, like, at Warner Bros. And even Tom Cruise was like, this is one of the greatest comic book movies ever made. Like, okay, it's fine if obviously, opinions are subjective, but I don't think his movie's anywhere near that. Like, I don't even think it's great. Like, I don't know. I don't know what else to say, but all I can say is is that, look, if you want a fun time, this is definitely the movie for you. If you want a fun time with a comic book movie, then yeah, you should go see this. You'll have fun. It's also really funny. I'll give it that. It's pretty funny, like the actual funny stuff, not like the unintentional like CG stuff. The comedy is actually pretty funny in the movie. So, yeah. But yeah, if I had to rate it, I would probably give it a 2.5 out of 5. Might be a 3. Look, it might be a 3. I'm gonna need to rewatch it. I feel like if I rewatch it, it could go up to a 3 maybe. But for now, I'll give it like a high 2.5 out of 5. So, yeah. So yeah, that's my thoughts on The Flash. What do you guys think of this movie? Let me know in the comments, and yeah, as always, hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.